Hey guys, Richard here with WingIt Flight Sim, and in this video we are going to show you how to get set up and get started in X-Plane 12, and it's coming up right after the intro. All right, so you want to do some flight simming, and X-Plane is a great choice to do just that. So let's jump right into this video and show you how to get started in X-Plane 12. All right, first thing you're going to want to do is go to the X-Plane website, which is xplane.com, and it's x-plane.com. Don't forget the dash, x-plane.com. It's going to bring you to this screen, and you're going to see a menu up here, and the two that you want to really focus on is the free demo and buy now. So if you want to just try it out, just click on the demo. If you're ready to purchase, you can just click on the buy now, and it's $59.95. So not bad for this really extensive piece of software. I'm going to do the free demo because I already have a product key. It'll bring you to this screen, and you can download the free demo if you want, and you can get X-Plane for Windows, Mac, and Linux. So we have Mac, so I'm going to click Get for Mac, and then it will prompt you to download the installer. And we'll go ahead and open. It's a safe website. And when you download X-Plane, it'll give you two choices: install a free demo or install a product purchase. So I'm going to install the product purchase, and the next screen will give you, if you purchase it, this is where you'll put in your product code, and that is hidden for obvious reasons. And then it'll default to your default folder to download it to. And then you have to agree to the terms, of course. The next screen is going to ask you to install the scenery that you want to install. So you can select none, you can select all, which will install all of the scenery in the entire world. And this will take forever to install. So I would suggest just starting with one continent at a time, or you can install all of it and just be done with it. So we are going to click select none, and then I'm just going to install, we'll just do Europe for now. Click continue, and it will install your scenery software. If you don't install a certain scenery, you can still use X-Plane. You just won't have the scenery. It'll just all be surrounded by water. So you'll have an airport, and it'll just be surrounded by water, so you won't get all the scenery. So, but you can still use it. All right, and this is going to take a few minutes, so we are going to go ahead and we'll be back when this is done installing. All right, we are back, and it is done downloading the scenery for Europe. And just to give you a really quick idea, it took about 12 minutes, and it was downloading at 600 megabytes per second. And remember, that was just for one small continent, one small area of all the scenery that X-Plane offers. So let's go ahead and get you started here. You're going to get to this screen here, and you can either quit, go back, or what you're probably going to want to do is run X-Plane now. So let's click on that. And this is how it's going to open, and you're going to get little announcements. Every time you open X-Plane, it's going to have the X-Plane 12 announcement, and then it's going to give you little tidbits of information on X-Plane and other just general flight information. All right, when X-Plane loads for the very first time, you're going to get this intro screen, and you can let it run, or you can click down here to skip the intro. All right, and then it's going to get you to the runway, and you've got a couple of options here. You can take the quick tour, or you can skip the tutorial and fly now. Let's just start on the tutorial. So once you start the tutorial, it's going to prompt you to open your joystick calibration. So let's calibrate our joysticks. And this is really simple. It literally takes 1 to 2 minutes. So let's start with the flight stick. So we're going to start with our roll axis. And then once you get it calibrated, the red will turn blue. And then we'll do the pitch. Aileron trim, and that's set. And the elevator trim is set, and that's centered. And the zoom is set, so we'll get that. All right, and it's telling you we need to let go of the controls, and then click next. And that's it. Your flight stick and throttle are calibrated. It'll give you this pop-up, and you can look around the cockpit using R, F, Q, and E, or you can do something a lot simpler and find the button on your particular joystick that is calibrated to toggle your views up and down and left and right. Okay, and you can zoom in with your equal button and zoom out with the dash. Or if you have a mouse with a wheel on it, you can use the mouse wheel too. Shift 9 will center your view back. Also, there are so many views you can do. You can program up to 20 views in X-Plane, and we have a video that shows you how to set your views, so check that out. All right, and the tutorial is over, and let's fly now. To toggle the brakes is B on the initial loading, and then again, you can set all this up later in the settings menu. So 1 and 2 are for flaps up and flaps down. So 1 is flaps up, 2 is flaps down. Also on here, F1 and F2 for throttle up and throttle down. All right, here we go. And I don't like this little small plane. Let's get some takeoff thrust. All right, I think we're good. And we are off the ground. This will give you a pop-up, what's new for this update to X-Plane, and you can click on the video to watch Austin Meyer explain all the updates in X-Plane 12, but we're going to forget that for now. All right, and another useful tidbit is you can hit P for pause. So let's pause the flight, and then up here you have your file menu, and it'll take you back to your main menu, and you can resume your current flight, new flight, save your flight, load a save flight, and flight school. So let's go back to the flight, and in your flight menu, this is flight configuration. The flight configuration is this little airplane icon as well. So those will get you to the exact same screen. So let me show you. So there's your flight configuration again. And we go back. And in the flight configuration, you can edit your weight and balance. Basically, you can add and remove fuel. So you can program it for certain failures such as landing gear, engine failure, and just about anything you want to fail on the aircraft. And you can just keep scrolling down here and explore that. There's your views menu, multiple different options there. The developer menu, which I obviously don't use because I'm not a developer. And this is where if you purchase and install third-party plugins, this is where your plugins will go. Over here, we are paused. We can unpause it. Or you can click the pause button to pause it as well. Your flight configuration menu, which that's the one I usually use up there because it's only one click. If you go down in this area, this is where all your aircraft are. So if you download a third-party aircraft, it'll go in this menu, and it should be organized by type of aircraft. So you've got your airliners, general aviation, experimental aircraft, gliders, helicopters, military aircraft, seaplanes, and then there's ultralight, and then this VTOL. So it's got us in a Cirrus SR22 right now, and you can customize it. You can change your skin. Most aircraft have liveries that you can select from, so you can select different skins in here and get a different look for your aircraft. Here you can edit your weight, balance, and fuel. And this is pretty simple, sliders, or you can manually type in. And here you can edit failures. So there's all kinds of failures that you can choose from. So from door to fuel caps to fuel leaks, you can program it to have a fuel leak, and systems failures, so autopilot, control, de-ice, electrical, equipment, landing gear, and lights. There's just about everything on an aircraft that you can program to fail in here to make your flight sim experience a little more realistic and a little more fun, and definitely more challenging. This menu, or this icon, pulls up the ATC communication box. And actually with X-Plane 12, there have been a lot of improvements made with the ATC. This toggles your map on and off, and you can scroll in and scroll out. You can actually scroll in, and there you can see after the clutter is gone, your aircraft is right there. So your aircraft will show up in red on the map, and if you have AI aircraft loaded, those will show up in black. And you can scroll in pretty much far enough to see the entire runway or the entire airport. It does not give you runway numbers or anything like that. It's just a diagram. You can add the flight path. So when that is turned on, that'll show your flight path right there. You can show the compass rose, and that stays with your aircraft to show you what direction, what heading you're flying, and you can show airport boundaries too. So let's take that off. Another nice thing is this approach menu here. So when you're coming in for landing and your final approach, this will show you your glide path. So this will be a vertical view of your glide path, which is really helpful, but we are not in landing mode or anything, so it's not showing it right now. Your settings menu, this is where all of your settings are. So your first tab is general settings. You can set your language. You can set what warnings you want to show. You can show clickable regions in the cockpit. So this will just highlight areas of the cockpit that are selectable. You can show instrument instructions in the cockpit, simulate blackout, redout, and hypoxia effects. This is kind of interesting. So if you are in a dive, the aircraft will become inoperable, and the screen will actually show a red haze, and it's kind of interesting. Down here, your damage menu. So remove flying surfaces when over speed or over G limits. I have this selected all the time. I've never seen a flying surface actually depart the aircraft when I'm over speed or over G. I think it simulates it within the software as if it's not there, but it doesn't physically remove flying surfaces. At least I can't get it to do that. So then your data menu and your kiosk mode. When you are first starting out with X-Plane, I would definitely click on the air traffic control taxi arrows and have those highlighted, because until you get used to navigating around airports, especially large airports, this is just really helpful to help you get around the airport until you get used to it. They're basically just yellow taxi arrows on the ground that show you which way to go to get to the runway, and if you're inbound, these will show you how to get to your gate. So I do recommend turning this on at least until you get used to using X-Plane, or you get some software that can help you around the airport, or just airport diagrams. The next one on the settings menu is your sound menu, and this just lets you adjust the volume, your master volume, aircraft exterior, aircraft interior, pilot, co-pilot, radios, environmental, and user interface. So you can adjust the volume of all of these, or you can leave them the same. Your speaker devices, so if you have external speakers or other speakers, you can select those. The pilot's voice, you got Joey or Sally. You got two choices. And then you definitely want to enable verbal ATC messages. You don't want to just read them. And then auto show the ATC message history. I like that one too, so I leave that one checked. The next is your graphics menu, and this is the one you will probably be playing around with the most, because depending on your graphics card and your hardware, you may need to adjust some of these down. So if your frame rate is really less than about 15 to 20, your graphics settings are probably too high and you need to turn these down a little bit. So the ones on the left, your texture quality, ambient occlusion quality, rendering resolution, anti-aliasing, and anisotropic filtering, those are the settings that are the most graphics intensive. The ones on the right, your cloud quality, shadow quality, rendering distance, world objects density, and vegetation density, these are a little more CPU dependent and not quite as much GPU dependent. And your font size, your interface size, those are all adjustable. Down here, your field of view and your vertical, your lateral and vertical field of view, you can change those. And especially if you have multiple monitors, this is really useful for setting up your multiple monitors. And we have a video about how to set up and configure multiple monitors for X-Plane. So if you want to check that out, please do. The next one is network, and this is for multiplayer, etc. External visuals. I don't use this. Data output, I do recommend showing your frame rate in the cockpit. And there's all kinds of data you can show in the cockpit menu. But then eventually you just clutter up your window. So the one I really recommend showing is just your frame rate. And right now we're getting about 26 frames per second. All right, that's your data output menu, your joystick menu. Here is where you can calibrate all the buttons and dials and gizmos on your flight stick and throttle and any external hardware that you have. So up here, it'll list all your devices. So I just have the Satec X52 hooked up to this one, and that includes the flight stick and the throttle. Keyboard, this is really important too, because you can set keyboard shortcuts in here for, again, hundreds of flight controls and operational stuff within your aircraft. So this is really nice too. And the last one is VR hardware. And I don't use any VR hardware. so I don't use this menu. All right, and we are back to our flight. And I don't like this small airplane. This thing is really hard to control. I like the big jets. But anyway, that is just about it for getting up and running in X-Plane 12. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and smash the bell so you don't miss a WingIt Flight Sim video. I'm Richard. Until the next one, we'll catch you on the flip side. We are out. X-Plane is a great choice for your software to get started in X-Plane. Get started in X-Plane.
We ready?
We are, I believe.
Oh, fly by night, no shit. Take 3. We're calling it take 3.
No, it's not.
It's take 3. I don't care what he says.
Probably
Camera 1.
take 29.